Mr. Talam sa dirigal malungil tutaw mora rogul adalo ranks ra el episode rigi dra Berius eyes roman sulang el netun in dirigal special guest rigi el tutaw adra Australian Institute of Marine Science itiragang mnerbela ora temela tel our ocean conference el gukura me o isa gagid development tagid el reef cloud malubot tagid el besel dongul dokora malas malmo o mesing la sense de los pering il mrula really de la center ma era de bodo o so gartire do sa de tagid el reef cloud de kadokora avimo highlight tratar staff regi de la center el altutao makmo masate alal mang mo o highlight dingin mo introduce ringi highlight ringi la sengora tankle le ngal garke ngara gora yel gora baby la rele la center ma alway sa yak manguktalte ale ngul mamsa ngal tara gester gi de la tutawa uli mang ngukora mo o ay sara story ringi la seng milgara me o ya center lambo ang rakla mga tel time lo rio
Ali Manuel tutabelaw ngakangklika uli ngakangal ngar along aktilo gaskura ngar along malmul todra pala high school malmul PCC nakpa PCC amla major nga environmental marine science mang wasi ko amla interest nga makmil mol al todra PCC one article instructor sa nga kala sharing your Mary laman na introduce nga kami PICRC start of PICRC 2008 nga gitira ko PICRC lang malso ka to rada so milamol maramara elang malbato ka black super PICRC padangela omsu mara software sa padangela building capacity building al mara staff milmutel al time tagi dawal gora imura project tagi mululom ter adra aims magi momsa dangil al tutaw sulang rate al
malmsaw le uli nga dire kal kagid na mention na seng letara student tagi del environmental marine science ra PCC el dire kal alwida center amlang at el lawyer laban ta PCC el developer tagi del program al encourage at era marine science, environmental and marine science ma uli at the student nga kadire kan mesig program so it's good to know that the program is successful ever to karangal na morngi kagida uli ngaytang elalsis lobangge el involve segid el tokoira development makora planning tagi el reef cloud software ma al time kada mo umura shoriki del momsa del giral se tagi del reef cloud ngara rele ngara tele la dos peringi ngara igel ngara kukble ngara challenges malubong ngara mle marangala la oriol do mesra kam tela time do rula rele ngara tagi del dongul ba dos peringi ngara mo ngosugi del hacer bo gora omok payot telingi gora telgi ben mereda theira marisat de lomes. So before we begin this morning, I would like to introduce Dr. Manuel Gonzalez Rivero from Australian Institute of Marine Science and Dr. Emma Kennedy. It is with such great honor and pleasure to have you with us this morning. And like Mr. Talams mentioned, we will try to explain this software website, the Reef Cloud website, and really communicate the benefits and like why are we planning to use it, and especially for like monitoring work in Palau. So era bodamura program regi de ngaringi akora mo malgot ko nga parte el mga dado article okay garigi den dik mo melas mel qora alyu de el mobiot regi da diregal mo understand. So I would like to start with Dr. Emma Kennedy. So before you answer my question, Dr. Kennedy, I would like to ask you to briefly introduce yourself before you start answering the question. So my question for you this morning is, could you please explain what is Reef Cloud And how long have you been developing it or working with Manu to develop Reef Cloud?
Oh, good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm very happy to be here. My name is Dr. Emma Kennedy, and I'm a coral reef biologist from the Australian Institute of Marine Science, and we're here in Palau for our Oceans Conference and to work with our collaborators here at PICRC. So yes, it's a great pleasure to be on the radio show this morning with you all. So Reef Cloud is a joint initiative between Palau, Australia, and Fiji, between reef scientists, and it's built by coral reef scientists to help other coral reef scientists. So we've created an open access platform, which is like a website that you can visit at reefcloud.ai to help reef scientists with their work. So it's a place where you can upload monitoring photos of coral reefs, and then it uses digital technology to help speed up some of the data analysis that we do. So it can help extract accurate information about species from each photograph much faster than we can do manually. And the website is also helping us collaborate and share information about the health of coral reefs with each other and with the public as well.
Thank you, Emma. So, ang kagi del toktang Dr. Emma Kennedy, amla ito na setyal Reef Cloud project talo ringi collaboration ng other Belau, other Australia, other Fiji. Ityang ako ra website se edel malasya sing ramran de also super alsel it analyze sa gagi del shasing edel help pergi del was edel malaya de rasong ngora sabi lori at reled man sa edel mambenge result ra ay gagi del data. And then at this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Manuel Gonzalez Rivero. And Dr. Rivero, good morning. Just to get in, just to dive in to Reef Cloud, how long have you been, how does Reef Cloud work, and what are some of the stuff that we've been doing while developing the Reef Cloud software or website?
Okay. Ali, Amni Tutau. Thank you very much, Singe. We're very proud to be here, very excited to share about Reef Cloud. Reef Cloud brings, as Emma say, a series of technologies to help us scientists be more efficient in how we work. One of the interesting part of Reef Cloud is that it brings machine learning technology, like face recognition, and it allowed us to actually identify corals from the machine using training from our own scientists, like in PICRC. And what this brings to it is that by using these technologies, we can be faster, we can be more efficient, we can be more accurate, but also the website and the software brings a series of other technologies behind the scenes that also allows us to integrate information. So as you know, coral reef are very vast and they cover very large areas. To be able to communicate what's the state of the reef in different areas is challenging, and there's a lot of information we collect as scientists. So Reef Cloud allows to merge and blend that information to summarize and synthesize what's the state of the reef. And that's the power of us as a collective community coming together to be able to communicate about the state of the reef.
Thank you, Manu. So, to my understanding, Reef Cloud also serves like as a database. So whenever you upload pictures and like it analyzes the picture, you're also contributing to this database of like corals all around the world, or people that are using the software.
Yeah, exactly that. And you couldn't say it in better words, because it's information is key for us to advise, but if we don't have information organized and standardized across the world, we lose the power of what we can communicate. So Reef Cloud brings a series of databases, but in a very user-friendly way. So we can organize our information, translate it into knowledge that is informative to management, and then by doing that, you bring the community across the world together. So the key area here is that we started with PICRC as our key partner organization to help us develop what is it that we need to actually do in terms of databases and analysis. And the knowledge that PICRC had for the last 20 years monitoring coral reef has been essential for us to be able to create something that is translatable to the rest of the world.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Manuel. Mangkal toktang amlo o isla settiagi del sang reef cloud awal gora wal gora nga internet del sa los peringil lodges basyasing e gore ta analyze ka gid data ang dira dil contribute al mora data collector at dira tagi del software wal dudul wasang machine learning software القدقورة ألسس أكتر تيال software identify واسي نغنغر القورال مثل نطونيا شاسين التال مثل أول دي لنجيل identify واسي أو تيان غران تل species رامراند لين الالتايمين تلقي بالاتيتوغ لا قدقورة أولا لا monitoring especially سلسوم تمورا survey واسي مغرا identify أمراند تلقي بال cloud time los peringi eso el vados per tagi del dongul reef cloud en wal maski datte alla del lor adia reled e gorekt el information al baskid el da gadil identify species und ding der maski da mut pel botog el information e gidel el data bil galekt tagi del aiso setamal ما ورانجري اللي لو بنجلا سنتركيد ما تري قالوا يبقى أنت لو بنتر أدرى فيتشي مرور تجد البروجكت إذا ملون التعات ما روق سنتركيد أم لصب الcontribute المرتجد الريال development reef cloud لو بنجلا كريستينا مع أولي تري عن researchers را سنتركيد So كذا أغورا تلت تيجي الريف بلاد الغورا ترى تيال الغوق البلادوريو لو بنتير أدرى أستراليا السبب الغوق أدفانس تكنولوجي الدوس المرولا ريليد من والسبب المايا مسا ريسالت السلام مثل تام so الان يقوق مو تقال يقوق مو كرا أولي راقوق ترى كير so ما مسولان أولي لو بنقدر الألتو تاو سر الغوت الستارت البروجكت understanding nga katira nga amle ra manu amle bela ra سيد الغوت الستارت غورا ما تظهر غمل كده التاجي من سأم الغورا ما أيش لا سأل التايم غورا وعنا تلت غورا challenges غورا إم غورا challenges رافيلي وتاجي ده بيفكر غورا ما غورا عملا helper كيف السلمو مسترين غورا ما غورا بول helper كيف تايم مال تايم سيل وان سيل مال مو develop with cloud it's the most bearing
أنا مثلاً أتقال سينge سرا قط المو تل introduce تل reef cloud المرناق ياك مرقام لوم الأسرع يال challenge سرا تل ذنغرا PICRC المرمر إلان دي سؤال لو أي سر أذرو قول like سرا قط المو PICRC يا process سرا analyze يال data amal gamangat te mal time consuming rather kal ngarang sa qot mo PICRC tawal dir gauspe at TV ma record da bertak le gore otungira TV dir marka extra TV gore tal identify yigid el marka mol nga mo nga software do sen CPCE dire galungil software nding wa din dong okle manual identify points raw dire gal mal time consuming leng wal to ka project di gidim kasal de mal kakarak lol time so sera el bornga reef cloud ak mal ram lo happy le kwase tel reef cloud mo sel ngo sugi del like the sab either gather the ral ramre del time igual what reduce our inconsistencies ra only are other merula de irama godo pingi time el sem el merula de ira so ngani ako for make sure el benefits of the reef cloud one saying online so same store data manage easily. And then it classifies as images like 700 times faster manual. So it's like 85 to 95% what's the word? I'm sorry. Accurate. And then it creates figures for you to download like your own analysis. And then real-time data are displayed on the dashboard. Among other policy makers making their own decision and based on the real-time data. Yeah. So, Christina, if I missed anything, so lang.
Ma'am, so lang uli mangi ulin dik akora di so ka obam explain na say kay the survey marula part tay the long term short term
may sa singing ngaro sa project mga sige dusing long term monitoring project kasi mal bato ka siya sing ringiling ay gal site Beri der belaw consistra tool depth maedo matmol among bol mo da kay gal siya sing kada mga durang ara 19,000 dirigal mo di mo koring gal MPA survey sa ramam dirigal medel 14 el MPA se beto kal site man pon mo da karo ko da mo da durang ara 1,000 na siya sing mo awun makmal sa marial meu ay sa iseltel reef cloud ang taya mo nguso mamal el analyze gal siya sing ramre edel time.
Okay, so this is just like a basic question for Uli and Christina, but like so Uli was explaining how Reef Cloud will help us like work faster with the data analysis and especially with the pictures, and she was saying like all in all it's about 31,000 pictures. So for Uli and Christina, like before Reef Cloud, like what's like the average time or how long would you use to analyze at least one site?
That's a difficult question because it depends on the different sites, like how much coral is at one site compared to another. But I don't know. Uli, maybe you would know better.
I mean, one site would take like 20 to 30 minutes. It really depends. Like 5 at transect. 50 siya singa one ring, so that's 2 plus around sumug tool depth yung 250, so it would take like 30 minutes.
Okay.
I think.
Like assume lang mo sa Reef Cloud?
No. So like mo sa Reef Cloud, it takes you 30 minutes lang ako karamala masila lol nga screen.
Yeah, so ako mga to ko mga Reef Cloud mi ospering ng nakaso MLG sang la 5 minutes kada mla analyze rawan ang site.
I wouldn't know. I think it would be faster. It will analyze it for you.
So Mr. Talamsa tadi may kagi del chasing loloya uli wase so laro la survey tiregal different sites ma MPA et malayan may ore dimle tirelo mes manually record tali but tel Reef Cloud the cell bodos peringi tadi may gal chasing in me osis et tel misila vingi loroti ruta gal chasing rogui e gore ngota badia agora spreadsheet malubong ko ngarang clean result tayo kagid la se may kagid el species ra maranta mes. Okay. And then just I know we haven't discussed this, but I'm just curious. So with like if you run your data on the Reef Cloud, like what kind of data would you expect, or what kind of data does it generate when you have your result?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it depends of what the users are. So Reef Cloud allows to have very detailed information in like a spreadsheet that you can download for our own analysis. So PICRC does the analysis similar to the Australian Institute of Marine Science. So we get all that detailed information and summarize it so we can write reports about the state of the reef. But also Reef Cloud brings data visualization tools that then allow to actually represent what's the state of the reef immediately on a web page. So not only just the scientists, but also the community around Palau can actually see and access the information about the state of the reef, with summaries about what this means and how this is actually, what are the main causes of the changes.
Okay.
Se vede lo che è.
Oi.
You know, one of the issues that Palau and other Pacific leaders are discussing is about land-based pollution that goes into the ocean and climate change and overfishing. It seems like this coral reef is very important study that you're doing. Does it have any relation? Can you use this study to analyze the pollution and overfishing and climate change that take place in our ocean? How would that study help address these issues?
Absolutely, that's a really good question, and I think that's one of the main things that we're concerned about because of the climate change and the other issues that you mentioned. We're seeing big changes on the coral reefs, but actually there's not many marine scientists being able to go out to the reefs. There's over 107 countries on the planet that have coral reefs, so by able to speed up our data analysis, we can collect more information and visit the reefs more frequently. And what we do with the monitoring is compare sites between years, so we can start to see differences and try and understand where we see big changes, what's driving those changes, and why. And I think those things will help us protect the reefs better if we understand how they're changing.
So, Dr. Kennedy, ako amnos madila say, tagi del gadi me Mr. Talam sa say, ramdingin na say nga climate change, mabatokal yol, tama makayal tatap, ma tagi del uriyo reef cloud adire kalmo, o sa edel osperingi ukto ko monitoring ra yal coral reef, and sa edel tragal was say, o tagi del rak amlawang ra teletelel, yakuk next el rak yung namawang ra teletelel, makadadire kal daga the monitor ahead the coral reef gid and digo Mr. Seller adela gid el climate change ma kaldela la daba sigang wangara ngara tel al affect gid el environment gid so kuk tokora monitoring en seguida dire kal sabe el or maskida siya sing basing malwangara impact gid el climate change mangarang tel el coral reef system gid daga dil belaw ma dire kal gid el baby blue ngaringa al malel ma dire kal gora seguida idea tila segador ethaurier man se etal mam nigla say like wala to sing real time and accurate information el dimret el toda data misal de lo se o te ayid el alam mo la wang tel teleleng ad expectable del modo mesteringi se etal se o it's accurate leng dagal kamang al time at osperingi mangwal ti seguid el time madam vangalil wa se ong wangara climate te el coral reef system.
Is this the first time that you are trying to really understand and see the different, what can I say, different situations each coral in different countries are?
No, well, it's not the first time. We are part of a network that is called the Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network that have been actually helping us to, as a community, get organized to understand global issues. But what we're doing with Reef Cloud is facilitating that work. So for the Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network, it took about 2 years to put together all the information to summarize the state of the reef around the world. Now with Reef Cloud, you can actually do it in hours, and that facilitate the access of information. But also, I must say, reef are actually changing very dramatically and very quickly because of climate change. So we need to actually move a lot faster in assessing and advising what are the management strategies we need to actually put in place. So techniques like Reef Cloud, but also the joints and efforts between different community groups are actually what will enable us to be at the top of the game before things change.
Okay. So ang kagi del taktang ako knos madila se Dakal katingel murut taluria lo campera marand malubang coral reef system raigal bek patingel blue but what was the name of the group?
Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network.
Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network. Sa yankle sa igid al tira part ringi et tira wal kora facilitate tira kukto kora rera monitoring. Ang kagid la seng ماذا اللي راك غورن سيلغو قطة بديا وانا ريبورت لوتيا غورا ستاتوس ملوبن ستيت را كورال ريف سيستم رابلو الآث or تيجي كده البلو involved there تيجي كده الآث and with the help of Reef Cloud then in matter of hours and then you can have the data to actually publish your statement or the report that the Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network is doing. Sorry. So, kukto nga kay Mr. Talam sing Jama lungit te alil ruks edel gor omesringil lang walo le our reorment sa edel mom dingin sa o ngaray gel takol gel makot mok in terms of tokora coral reef management ya kuk tokora monitoring ang malhel parigid man ngaringi yagi gel accurate correct the information اللي جدا سأد لو spelling واللوري هذا relay من سأد المدينة لو سأون وانا تلتيان instead را mga تغطر time لو spell actual amount of work trying to analyze our data and then I think Reef Cloud is like a really great opportunity for us to kind of advance the technologies that we use in our everyday work. And but I have one last question for Christina. So Christina, how have you been involved in Reef Cloud, like with you and Uli? I know you guys are in Australia, we're here in Palau, so how does that work and how have you been communicating for the past 2-3 years?
Yeah, so I think it was mentioned that we have been collaborating with AIM since 2019, but it's only the past year or so that Uli and I have been working with AIMS. We've been meeting with them every 2 weeks on Zoom to help develop and also improve the Reef Cloud website and dashboard. So the dashboard, I don't know if it was mentioned that it's public access, so everybody can see the data that's on there. And we created 2 projects using PICRC's data. We uploaded the benthic photos, so that's photos of the reef. And then those photos were helping Reef Cloud to learn how to identify the corals. We also provided feedback on the website, like the ease of use, how easy is the website to use, the instructions, things like that. And how can it be improved to make it more useful for us and other users. And then this week, since AIMS are here, we're going to be continuing that work. We're going to be adding more photos and also training more staff at PICRC to be able to use the platform.
Nice. So, ang kagid researcher gidra center Christina mauli namar nga te lo bantirtiral adal despite the distance, they've managed to meet on Zoom every 2 weeks, if I'm right. Christina Karanassos madil was it tulong certigal adal المرور تاجد الطول ملوب تاجد الريف كلاود لو مستير شاسين you were able to provide some pictures and then to can help Reef Cloud identify the coral species and some of the data analysis and also provided feedback. No sabi ilko kora provide the feedback ala sing wangara tele website ing sabi ira ada los peringi ma dashboard gigi del dashboard kora todo la sing kora data visualization los gigi del data analysis el mal technical الترمول المؤثر community or the regular other mo understand ma gagi del mas madila sing mal cloud to tulang mal sorry rabo lo ngel adal gilela ay resources are tiling at the end of the day give ya resource owners mang gire del mo ngarngi a full understanding er gidra was say like ngaras tarus ra health ra coral reef system ergid ngara ko ra yellow maklo threats malubang ko ra challenges elgida face. So tagi the reef cloud it does not only help us identify coral reef species and analyze our data, but it also communicates the data man sa irar adal fully understand the ringi interact lo bangela gagid data magagid dashboard, and these are all available on the Reef Cloud website. It's Reef Cloud reefcloud.ai. Mang suko mo ko malaba den war kami malubo ko malaba computer e ko maldi type in reefcloud.ai reefcloud.ai. Ay ko ring sige mo otti sige del website e ko ring otti del back padangela option del sabe los pe man sa ilo mesa not only they are below but they are abe qalbulu el upload contribute to more tagi del Reef Cloud. Kadogora marmang ra labang la shorgi de Mr. Talams masumang nga karimeng and sa edel mo address malubang nga ko ra karir adra balu and sa edel la adi maya tablol denwa era dol masum artigal okya karir el altutaw.
Sula Singe me digwais mats kuma magdong in spiula magdong ya kinge gumi mura eren gege da singel. Okay, malungit tutawale ngara ere.
Suya nga malungit tutawale gora ka station ma tial adra tele tiangarang klen. Tele jira gora bif. Malungit tutawale gora mi rugu makawlo rens. Malungit ko igal lamdong ligil tial toktang matum subra kale atal melela kaya makalgol traer olela coral malandrado mang au era por seguir malclo en dia que asunto scientist trigajil sto tano sarasti en dia que la satyal motor de la lab telika suerlain le sak mo se sen kulte melli masumara el temelli pas sto kat mukli seguir que grey era abo moruf tia kol kerger belau Tiadi utasel gudi gulto dengil gukti besya kum malsum kanya audasel motor del mukan gester ngi motor del do elen diakal bekitem malungil kule berang mutul mawil at bel bera al time el toda da sigil ngamalal selsu ice packs. Thank you, bye.
Thank you caller mal to egel molgoy, and we were fortunate enough for last I think 2 shows or 3 shows before edam lang gelukta researcher gidra center el igalaw auto enge amirura master ngira gukto ra sewage, so we had a show el gukmasadra sewage outflow ma affected ngira ang amala, and then hopefully and sa edel ko mga ado ringi so mong mga follow up study ringi, and then sa edel ko mo address sa gidel cancer na caller, but yes gidel wa sewage outflow ma erosion ma dangit el morada gidel baby affect affect the coral reef, and then with Reef Cloud sa edel mesel was say let's say the treasure sa gidel site del mo monitoring, and then we can actually see like wangara nga affect ringil was like yal o so mga nga sewage outflow sa dala siya Singe sa gidel basyo Reef Cloud as el mo otigil say malwangara nga teletel or wangara klamang tel time those peringil or wangara malwangara impact ringil al sala real time or al sala clol time. So in terms of monitoring tagi del dongo adere kas edelos peringil adere sa way del concerns. So the caller was asking that maybe we should focus on the sewage outflow that's happening in Malacca Bay. So I'm just kind of explaining it like if we were to invest on that specific site, and then maybe we could, with the Reef Cloud platform, we could use it in terms of like monitoring, and like we can see how much is the sewage outflow affecting the coral community around the bay. So I was just explaining to the caller because we've had previous shows about sewage outflow because there's been some concern. And then I hope that we can do another show with Igalaw since she kind of did the project around the area. Ma'am Saule caller and as adel mo nga one more.
Okay, malungit tutagoler ng raer.
Oi, mituta sa doy, mituta sa malungit program. Wala ko mga nga kamarera blur tao wala apply. Kemlo matigira ikal player ngarat ko la ko sa Michael ko. Abay ba din multo mo ra ko bulsa, malungit di mora do boyo ta mong selgo mesak no mesa ikal ko bulsa pa mo inspect and di ilelewa akse. Ikal tao. E jaka imo ale da PICRC mani ke. Untirak masya sugo mo yaw to din ka sa piulo mesa sila balura para bao to ponia suwer diwai kalger para mala para ba ro ki dire optimum tutupya mala sa jakal bol help problem pera apa ba ma to ay ka kidal pa ba di murto mora ko kurso mar murto di mora do boy murto mora ko kurso bakwa di mo share ma babado ma ngayon please look into it. Nakalo di mo surat raplos. And God bless you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Ma'am Sulang caller malungil commenter ka. El adire kal awal agi del issue adire kal ntakado do sing it does hindi kalakal matter like it matters lang di kal affect reefs like reef health ma overall ocean health rigide la ngangi set to do se from reach to reef mga mura coastal all the way mura coral reef sumong matamal la kaburs ngangi telel matamal la ablila ari so matamal ablila aring sa el matamal la coral reef so we'll take that into account caller Ma'am Sulang and I think there's like a developing project the Loringa Center in partnership labang kala Chaika Ma'am South coastal management project masadadu coastal and like community korakera burs malubot takera tara kaburs malubot take along the kula altab ma alon ma sumukok man nga ala da next showing guk sa edel guk mo invite try kester gidel mail guk mos modia guk sa gidel guk to coastal management project el center del gul mo orangi lo banter adra chaika songora timlay kay gida share gida el alsils Egola avikia caller makma o mga simra so timangutat te alemut talqora o kitral o kaya del basan nga ko sorry malqora era poto Mariak so Dr. Emma and Manu would you want to say anything before we close also for Christina and Uli would you want to add on a few more things before we close the show?
Sulan Singe, this is great. We're very proud to be working with PICRC, and I just wanted to highlight the work that PICRC does in Palau has been essential for actually really understanding how reef are changing. Palau is actually a pretty fortunate space to be because it harbors one of the best coral reef in the world, but without the institutions like PICRC, we wouldn't be able to preserve it the way that we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to say anything? No? Good.
Say something. One other thing which is pretty cool is that Reef Cloud is not only for scientists. So, for example, like if the Pan Rangers from a state or conservation officers wanted to go out and take photos of their reefs, they could do that and then upload them onto the Reef Cloud website and it would analyze them for them. So that's something that's really cool that it can be applied, like we can monitor more reefs around Palau to get more data. So that's pretty cool.
That's good news.
Yeah, so malmonga nga tutela den wargi de makemeragi de ngagi da Christina de mamqatakla sa intera del scientist malubot tra da lawyer ay kay githel alada asbi ilmru access with cloud malklo access rigi del rukti adra malu sa edel mong ma Pan Rangers ma teragi del conservation officers sa il contribute ta data and then they'll contribute the data, but they also get to know a little bit more about their MPAs, mga conservation area. Ela araw kaya la sharigi the mga dingaringia tablo announcement el swakal mo malakoy. magdasal ngutyal te ale mo orang asuli ra adra Ministry of Education ma adra gerugol private school nga Bluebelaw no sa ba amal receive gigit arts and tides calendar entries ra kami for calendar 2023. So we are in the process of sorting them out mo mrula chaching and then nagimo inform our winners pretty soon. Magdasal no orang asuli ra rugol adra MOE mar adra school principals, teachers, and the students for your participation on the Arts and Tides calendar art contest for 2023 calendar. O ma'am sulang ra entry sa kami. Dire tayo del kuk kadabal time ra COVID the makukura preparation nila la ocean en kuk mlornya te level القرار مولا بس الديسبلاي الرئيسة aquarium مركيد ما الأني غارنيا تابلو بس الديسبلاي لو بنجلا تابلو الفيديو الكيمال ألترا السلا aquarium ما aquarium إلا ملامو تجيم لا ما أسمريل we are now open again to public. And we still have our promo 50% off so $250 for locals, $2 50 cents entry, and then $5 more visitors. Yarang al school, marang ngal kalbilo 5 years old, maditada, makukulbar niya temiwe, miwe me domesangi, kale, the other kukal nga karmiw. Ang koradim lay kay de Mr. Telam se Dora Marmara Orokele la Shorkid mang maldisukan ngutyal te ale orang asule la Manu. Thank you and Emma for coming to the show this morning and it's been a great pleasure to have you on the show and explain what is Reef Cloud and it's such an honor to be sitting with the people who made Reef Cloud and to have that explained to the public is such a wonderful opportunity for us to kind of address some of the concerns or their questions while they're reading the news this morning. And thank you for coming to Palau for the Our Oceans Conference. I hope you had a wonderful experience. And then we hope to see you more often while we kind of develop more into Reef Cloud and continue the project. So madisang ngutyal te ali orang asulira rogol adal mas iloreng se obang gedrel al tutaw. Yeah, so mga nga karmiw mal di free lam ko dong ra 488-6950 malubo ko contact ra ma'am through Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. Gigi del platform ra ma'am volumon mal update lo ay sa gigi del Arela Center makukuratora partnership laban trira ay gigi del pagpadingil al adal wa aims and we hope that نسأل الملمول من قينسة وغيورينس كمان appreciate تجاهد القول سلمي على التوتاو من دير الوق مسكذا وق different point of view وق تمس أتقوي ما غمال مسولان المال بلقلو بنجد رابيوس الآيس ما وق نكسل شوري غمال مسولا روغوي